What happens when the smartest creature in the world tries to steal all the wisdom for himself? Today we are diving into a powerful Akan folktale from Ghana that will completely change how you think about knowledge and sharing. Trust me, the ending will surprise you. Long ago in the forests of Ghana, in the time when wisdom flowed as freely as palm oil, there lived Kwaku Anansi the spider. Now Anansi wasn't just any spider, he was already known as the cleverest creature in all the world. His web spinning was pure art, his problem solving was legendary, and his cunning unmatched by any animal in the forest. But Anansi had a secret obsession that consumed his every thought. Why should wisdom be scattered everywhere? Anansi would mutter, watching other animals solve their problems. A little bit with the tortoise, some with the elephant, pieces with the humans. It should all belong to one person, someone truly deserving, someone like me. And so began Anansi's great quest. He traveled to every corner of the earth, collecting wisdom wherever he found it. When farmers discovered new ways to plant yams, Anansi spun special webs to catch that knowledge. When elders shared ancient proverbs, he wove their words into his silk. He collected the wisdom of hunters, healers, craftsmen, and mothers. Slowly but surely, Anansi gathered all the wisdom in the world into one enormous calabash, a great god that grew heavier and more precious each day. But as his collection grew, something strange began happening. The other animals started making foolish mistakes. The wise old elephant forgot how to find water. The clever tortoise couldn't solve simple disputes. Even humans began struggling with problems they easily handled before. But Anansi didn't notice their troubles. He was too busy admiring his treasure. Finally, he declared, "All the wisdom in the world belongs to me. I am truly the wisest creature that ever lived." But now came the real problem. Where could he hide such precious treasure? After much thought, he decided on the perfect hiding spot, the very top of the tallest palm tree in the forest. No one would think to look there, and even if they did, no one could climb like he could. But something was terribly wrong. Usually, Anansi could scamper up any tree in moments. Today, the calabash kept getting in his way. It banged against the trunk, threw off his balance, and made it impossible to grip the bark properly. Again and again, he tried to climb. Again and again, he slipped and fell. Hours passed. Anansi was exhausted, frustrated, and still at the bottom of the tree. His legs ached, his arms were scraped, and his pride was wounded. Unknown to him, his young son, Ntukuma, had been watching from the bushes, wondering why his father was struggling with such a simple task. Finally, Ntukuma couldn't bear to watch anymore. He crept forward and called out softly, "Papa, why don't you tie the calabash to your back instead? Then your front will be free for climbing." Anansi stopped and stared at his son. It was such a simple solution, so obvious. He quickly retied the rope, securing the calabash behind him, and scampered up the tree easily. But when he reached to the top and had hidden the calabash safely, a terrible realization struck him. He sat there on the swaying palm fronds and began to laugh, not with joy, but with bitter laughter of someone who has discovered their own foolishness. "I have collected all the wisdom in the world, and yet my young son, who should have no wisdom left at all, just solved a problem that I, with all the world's wisdom, could not figure out." The truth hit him like a flying coconut. Wisdom cannot be hoarded. It grows when it's shared, and withers when it's kept or locked away. In his frustration and shame, Anansi grabbed the calabash and hauled it down from the top of the palm tree. The great god scattered into 1,000 pieces, and all the wisdom he has so carefully collected scattered to the four winds. Pieces of knowledge flew in every direction. Some settled on trees, some sank into rivers, some blew across grasslands, and some found their way back to animals and humans they had originally belonged to. But something wonderful happened in that moment of scattering. The wisdom didn't just return to where it had been before. It spread even further. Every creature, every plant, every place on earth received at least a small piece of wisdom. From that day forward, no single being possessed all wisdom. Instead, everyone had some. The farmer his knowledge of crops, the hunter his understanding of the forest, the mother her insight about children, the child his fresh perspective on problems. Anansi climbed down slowly, and humbled and relieved. He discovered that he still had his own share of wisdom, perhaps even more than before, because now he understood its true nature. My son, you've taught me the most important lesson of all. Wisdom is not something to be owned, but something to be shared. And sometimes the greatest wisdom comes from the smallest voices. From that day forward, Anansi used his cleverness not to hoard knowledge, but to help others solve their problems. The old people say that this is why even today, everyone knows a little bit about something. The farmer knows his fields, the child knows how to play, the elder knows the old stories, and even the smallest ant knows how to work with others. And sometimes, when you are struggling with a problem that seems impossible, the solution comes from the most unexpected place, because wisdom scattered by Anansi long ago can be found everywhere, waiting to help those humble enough to listen. So what's the moral of this beautiful Akan folktale from Ghana? True wisdom cannot be hoarded. It grows when shared and diminishes when kept to oneself. Sometimes the greatest insight comes from the most unexpected sources. Think about it. When was the last time you learned something important from someone you didn't expect? Drop a comment below and share your story. If you love this West African folktale, make sure to subscribe for more stories that will change how you see the world. Until next time, remember, wisdom is everywhere, waiting for those humble enough to listen.